I almost forgot.
I wouldn't let you forget, Jessie.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for letting me be here again. It's nice. It's been too long.
It has.
Yes, definitely time for questions. In fact, I encourage questions throughout because I think that really is a great way to guide the conversation. I want to answer what you all want to know, not what I want to share. And then I would love to hear more from you whenever you have a chance about how you crossed over from not really exploring project broadcast into doing it. Like, is there a tiny step that somebody could take so that they could start exploring, or is it going to be different for everybody?
So I'll share my thoughts. With our business, we have a lot of clients that are their specific needs. And so like they're Disney fanatics, or they I don't know, they only buy stock from you, or they only shop online, something like that. And it's a way to put those people in a category. And the nice thing about our workstation and project broadcast is we can export our contacts or our team to Excel and then upload it to project broadcast and then tag those people. If you put a column that says tag and then like put Disney or stock only or online orders only, or I do lots of fundraisers. So I will put the specific fundraiser that this person bought from, and then I'll tag them in addition to what other, like, what else I want to know about them. But if I only want to follow up with just my fundraising people with that fundraiser, I'm able to say, I can just tag just those people and I'm only talking to them and it makes sense to them or whatever. So there's just so many ways to, it just like totally, and I know it may sound intimidating because I'm one of those people, you guys, I do not like, it's hard for me to make changes. Once I get a system going and I'm like, okay, I got my groove going, it's hard for me to change. But I will say this has been the most fun change. And it's literally just making the decision that you're willing to learn. There's always a learning curve and you're not going to know everything. I've been doing it over a year now and there's still so much I haven't done, and they keep adding. And I think it's just making our businesses even more amazing. So I hope that helps. But I think even just having a list of your certain customers and using the tags is going to be amazing, because you can send out text messages to a lot of people. It makes it personal. I'm sorry, my Yorkie is crazy. And I love how it, you could say, hey, Jess, or, oh my gosh, Jess, you're going to be so excited about this, to make it really like you're really talking to that person. And then that conversation, you can go back and forth, and then you could really see who's opening, who's not. One thing I love is that because we are a business, when we do text people for businesses on like this type of thing, they have the opportunity to opt out. And it's like, to me, it's like a relief. It's like, bye. If you don't want anything to do with me, then great. I don't have to worry about you. And most people know nowadays, because there's so many text services, that you can just click stop and people just do it. And I still encourage people to when people do opt out, I call them directly and I still just say, I want to make sure that you still want no contact from me, or is it just from the text service? Because don't just assume, because I've had plenty of people say, oh no, Jess, you're my consultant, I just don't like those text things. I'm like, okay, but it made me learn that I was making it not the verbiage not personal enough. So I had to learn to make, because they realized it was a text thingy. So be careful with that. See, now you got me off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. Go for it. Well, I do want to highlight a couple of the things you said, because I just feel like you hit so many good points there, where it is all about sending personal targeted messaging. So you just, like, two things you said, I was like, yes, 100%. So being able to pop their first name in there, even if you're sending a message to 300 people at the same time, is gold. But also, grouping people together with tags like Disney. So when you send a broadcast out to people and you say, oh, Jess, you're going to love this, that's actually a fact. You know they are going to love it because you have them tagged Disney. If I sent that message out to my entire, let's just say 3,000 contact list, untagged, are they going to love it? I don't know. I don't have that information about them. And so I just love the way you think about it. And I totally agree with you about stops. If they're unsubscribing, they're either saying they're not interested, which is fine because we want people who are hungry for information, right? Or they want it elsewhere. And so I love that you're checking in with them to just just say, you know, is this an everywhere thing or just text messages? You're just doing it the right way. And then the last thing I want to highlight that you said is just how you approach project broadcast. And we do really just ask that you approach it from a place of discovery, of exploration. You do not have to know everything right away. You said you're still learning after a year. I'm still learning after 4 years of regular use. Like I had an entire business running project broadcast accounts for people before Project Broadcast hired me. And I am now working for Project Broadcast. And at least once a week, I'm like, oh, that's what that does. So there's no finish line. So you aren't behind. You're not ever going to be left to fail. Our resources are endless. You have a resource in both of us. I think if you ever came to either one of us with questions, we're here to answer them. But the on-demand training is always available to you too. So you can't fail if you come from a place of discovery. We won't let you because you're going to ask questions along the way. And I think, but actually, like before I go into the spiel, can you just drop in the chat, everybody who's able to type, just a yes if you're currently a Project Broadcast user and a no if you're not. And then if you're willing to, just like kind of how familiar you are with it. If we're dealing with mostly Project Broadcast users, I can talk a little bit differently about this. And then in addition to that, okay, so we do have some no's. In addition to that, can you pop an Amy in the chat if you are transitioning contacts over from Amy? Because I will be speaking about that if we have some Amy people. Lots of Amy information to share. Okay, so we do have some no's. That's great. So yeah, if you are not currently using Project Broadcast, I just want to give you a brief overview of what happens when you sign up for Project Broadcast. If you say at the end of tonight, like, yeah, I actually could use something to communicate in my business that automates things for me a little bit. You get a message from the team that I am on in your Project Broadcast immediately upon sign up. And this is new, by the way. So maybe if you've been around for a while, you have not experienced this. We just rolled this out in March, I believe, where you get a message from us and it takes you to our quick start course, which walks you through the foundations of setting up your account. And then you get what we call these little surprise and delight messages that are like, hey, this is how you add a contact. Go try this. This is how you send a chat to somebody. Go try this. And it's these like tiny digestible steps per day that get sent right to your Project Broadcast account. So truly, you will not be left on your own. The system walks you through the system. It's so cool. We're releasing so many things. And like you said too, and about never being done with learning, right? Then like you said, we release something new and you then have to learn something new. Like when I thought I knew Project Broadcast and then they released landing pages. And then I have a brand new feature to learn. And then they released Spaces last month and you have a brand new feature to learn. Okay, so I'm just gonna look at the chat really quickly. Awesome. I'm gonna talk about Amy first then. So we do have Amy for follow-up. Using Amy for follow-up, and we do have somebody using Amy. I do want to talk about how to transition contacts over. I have a resource I'm going to share with you all so you can go through it step by step on your own, but I also do want to just show you quickly what you'll be doing after you export your contacts from Amy. And I do want to say a couple of things about it. Just make sure all of your data is exported from Amy by the end of the month. From everything that I'm hearing, you will not be able to access it after that. So you don't have to do everything right now. You don't have to export from Amy and import to Project Broadcast and tag people and do all this. You don't have to do any of that. You just have to export from Amy, and I'll show you the directions for that. And then as far as I know a lot of people are talking about Amy for follow-up because you get reminders from Amy, and where are we going to start tracking this now? Do I need to learn how to use Trello? Do I need Post-its? Do I need paper? Project Broadcast really is going to do all of that for you. Not all of it, but there is a way to use Project Broadcast so you don't need reminders on follow-up. For example, you could set up what's called a campaign in Project Broadcast that could send them, a message 2 days after they order, 2 weeks, 2 months, and then maybe a 6-month message and an anniversary message at a year, or however you want that to look. I need to pull up and send to you. I just saw somebody post in the Scentsy Facebook group recently, her follow-up drip, what she had planned out for it, and it was brilliant. So I'm just going to make a note really quickly to send that to you so you can share it. But just something like that, it takes away the need for reminders. It takes away your to-do list. All you're going to do is set up this series of messages to go out when you want them to go out, and then you plug a person in and the system takes over. And some people worry that that takes away the personal element of things, but I find it just saves me time and energy with my outgoing messages and frees me up to answer questions as they come in, offer resources as I need to, and really have those one-on-one relationships. So for me, it allows me to be more personal, not less. And so I just want to kind of alleviate some fears, some hesitations that people are having. I know it's a stressful time if you've been leaning heavily on Amy, and there are things that Project Broadcast can do to help, but it is not a replacement for Amy. Amy did a lot of cool stuff. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, you made me think about, obviously a lot of people have full-time jobs and Scentsy is not like their main focus. I wanted to make sure you guys know, if you verbalize to your clients, I have a text system that helps me keep in contact with you. And, this isn't my full-time gig, or I mean, even me, this is my full-time gig. I can't remember everybody. I have over 400 clients. There's no way that I could do that. So be honest with them. And I'm not a robot, so I need help. And I'll even tell them, sometimes you might get a text from me that we just talked about before, it just automatically goes to you. So just laugh it off if you already just bought, or you already just whatever. It's just to help me make sure that you don't go without your Scentsy. And they're like, oh, okay. But it makes it impersonal when they have no idea what's happening. Does that make sense? And then what you're doing is you're showing them that they can have a business and be busy like you, have a full-time job and have kids and this and that, and they can still run a business on the side and make some extra money. So I always encourage you guys to think about, the more you verbalize, the more you explain what you're doing, then they understand how you're doing it, which obviously is the bigger picture of becoming, growing your team, is so your clients understand how you make everything happen, because you never want them to think, how the heck does she remember all this? How is she or he so I mean, we want them to think we're amazing, but not that amazing. that they can never remember all the things that we do. No, I've got help. It's an amazing app, and I still can respond back to you. I'm still going to chat with you, but it's in case for some reason things go crazy on my end, I don't, I don't forget to contact you for 4 months and you've been completely out of your Scentsy products. And they're going to appreciate that, because today we're in the digital era. You know what I mean? They're not going to be like, wait a minute. But like I said, as long as you verbally explain and be upfront with them, it's going to be a lot less of a hit if you just had a conversation and then they get this like automated thing 3 days later and they're like, wait a minute, they'll go, oh, okay, that was her follow-up thing, because you may not remember that you just talked to that person and they were in that follow-up sequence. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that properly, Dawn?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So I think being transparent, setting the expectations up front, people are so understanding when things like that happen, especially if you are transparent from the beginning. And then I think where people really end up appreciating the conversation is they know you have automations going out. You've told them that allows you to be consistent and to serve people well. But when they ask a question, they get an answer back. So they know there's a human element to it also. I've seen people not fail project broadcast, but one of the biggest mistakes I see is they'll schedule out a broadcast, right? And they'll get questions that come in, or well, mainly questions, or just somebody saying something, right? Oh, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks, whatever it is. And then they send out another broadcast without answering the chats that came in. It's a bad look. So that takes away the human element of it, you know, because then people have this picture in their mind like, oh, that's weird. I told her I was going out of town for 2 weeks. I wonder why she didn't say anything. And now she's reaching out again with this unrelated message. Or I asked her about this warmer. Why is she sending a message about this now? So as long as you are committed to closing conversations before opening up a new one, people are very understanding that you're using a tool. I totally agree with you. Go ahead. No, go for it, please.
I just want to add really fast, because one of my friends, she's amazing with follow-up. She was telling me how she sends a what's it called? Not a broadcast. The blast broadcast for when we do like, gosh, my brain is just freezing. When we do our limited editions, you know, launches. And I'm sorry. One thing she said she made a mistake with is that she didn't make time to check her responses on Project Broadcast. And because she does work full time, she did one right before she went to work. And she totally forgot the whole day. And she said she had like 32 responses. So make sure if you're going to do a blast, you go back to your Project Broadcast to see if people are responding, because then you could lose business, you can get people frustrated, things like that. So I don't want to worry you, but she learned a hard lesson. So what she did, because she does have a full-time job, is she literally like put an alarm on her phone during her break to go back, learn the hard way, but the next time to go back and go through and make sure that she answered everybody's questions. So there's always a way around it. I just had somebody else tell me that they learned the hard way about something else totally unrelated to this, but that's what this type of, when you own your own business, you're going to go through some trial and errors, and you're going to send off a text message that you didn't mean to. And I did that the other day, and I had to go back and go, hey guys, I'm so sorry, that wasn't meant, you know, and they're like, that's okay, Jess. And I think I got more responses from my mistake text than my other text. They're just like, that's okay, I understand. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should mess up more often.
Just every 6 months, mess up and apologize for it. It seems to be working. Yes. No, that's absolutely true. And, you know, I think the reason we're telling these stories too, this was not part of the agenda for tonight, but we learned the hard way. And so we don't want anyone else to, but you will. There's going to be a misstep, and that's okay. But things like not being available to answer after you send out a huge blast, and it doesn't have to be right away. You don't have to respond within 30 seconds. People know that you're working, but you know, same day is nice. Within a couple of hours is great. But as long as you answer questions before you send out the next thing that's scheduled for that person, I think you're okay. But yeah, setting an alarm is smart. And again, I learned that the hard way, right? Where I would like schedule out a blast before like working for Project Broadcast before a lunch break. And it's just like, I ask them to ask me questions and then I don't respond for an hour. It's a bad look. I don't want to set that expectation for people. And so I do try to be pretty responsive there. Okay, I'm going to jump into Amy. You guys, we have plenty of time for questions too. So you can pop them in the chat. You can unmute. And I don't think we have to save questions for the end or anything. I'm going to be relatively brief about Amy, just because I'm going to share a resource with you that you can work through on your own. So let me share screen and pull this up here. Okay. I'm in Project Broadcast, but I don't need to be yet. So this is just a very, very basic cheat sheet for the Amy transition that I created based on the shutdown video that they released and the document that they released called Amy Shutdown, What You Need to Know. So that is linked here. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this in the chat right now so you can access it live if you would like to. Let me close this out. And okay, so if you want to follow along, but you can follow along on the screen too. So they have this document here called Amy Shutdown, What You Need to Know. It'll walk you through everything. It literally like step by step tells you what you need to do about your subscription. But the main things that I want you to pay attention to are this, how to export your data before August 31st. That is what you need to do. And that is all you need to do before August 31st. They did recommend, Janessa did, I need to stop saying they, it was Janessa, in her video did say that you might want to, and I have this on my cheat sheet too. Hold on, I'm gonna jump back and forth a little bit. She said you might wanna ask in your VIP group or anybody who's been a customer, any prospective customers or teammates to fill out the contact form, just like one last time, throw that out for them so that you have current information in Amy for them. Janessa recommended updating any contact notes and then make sure that your data is exported from Amy before August 31st. The main thing to export is your contact data. And there are a few different things. Let me jump back over here. There are a few different things. You can get your contact info. You can get your subscription receipts. It was recommended to grab those before tax time. Has nothing to do with Project Broadcast. I'm just mentioning it as something you might want to pull out. And then customer invoices. So I have worked with a couple of people transitioning over from Amy that have wanted some of the details on those customer invoices in Project Broadcast. So these steps 1 and 3 may be pertinent to your Project Broadcast contacts. Some things like order history, they wanted to store in the notes section of Project Broadcast. So I'll touch on that briefly, but basically just get your stuff out of Amy before the 31st. I'm hearing you will not be able to after that. So that document is linked on my cheat sheet, and then just reiterates you really need to go through those steps. The only things you have to do before 8/31 are these first 3 steps. The rest of it happens in Project Broadcast. We have all the time in the world. And I do just want to say, when we get to the second page of this cheat sheet, if any of this is like setting off alarms or overwhelming you, I am a resource to you because, you know, Jess, not everybody's getting direct access to me, but if you have a hiccup along the way, bringing something into Project Broadcast, I'm here to help you through that. So I'll make sure you have my number and everything or my email address. But basically, you're going to want to send out the contact form again if you want to, update any contact notes, and then the main step is 3, exporting your data. You just follow these directions here, and I've included here what's on that contact export. The number 1 thing you need is the phone number for Project Broadcast, but obviously things like name could be helpful. Facebook and Instagram, you can't use them in Project Broadcast, but if you want to store them in Project Broadcast, we don't have a problem with that. Birthday, actually, I'm going to highlight some things here. I think name, phone number, this is from Amy, and I put in parentheses where they will be stored in Project Broadcast. Whoops, let me grab all of that. Birthday is a really cool one. If you have it, you can send out birthday messages every year in Project Broadcast. You don't have to worry about remembering. The system does it for you. Categories and labels are optional, but kind of cool from Amy. You can make those tags in Project Broadcast to group people together like we were talking about, based, and I'll show you a sample file, but based on if they're, you know, team or level 1. Address, we can't use in Project Broadcast, but you can store it if you want to. And then any notes are probably going to be pretty important, but they are optional. So I'm just going to go ahead. Maybe I'll make birthday optional too, but I just love birthday. So I make it a part of Project Broadcast. So all you really need is name and phone number. Yes, go ahead.
I just have a quick question. When it comes to the birthdays, I love that that you can set up a campaign with their birthday, and like with Scentsy, the Scentsiversary, it sends automatically your like a text saying happy Scentsiversary, happy birthday. Yeah. And I'm hoping that I verbalize this correctly with my customers. Can I set up a separate one? Because I'm not going to say happy birthday from your SSD. You know what I mean? Like how do is there, and I know this isn't about that. Is there a video that talks about separate and the same. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. There's not a video specifically on that, but all it is, yeah, you can absolutely do it. And it's just going to be a separate campaign. So I would have a team birthday campaign and a customer birthday campaign. And the message is just going to be different. Yeah, super easy to set up.
Yeah, because then you just link that person to that specific. Okay.
Yep.
I am so sorry. I don't know why my brain did not.
It's a fantastic question. No, and a lot of people choose to do that, to have slightly different messages. And the, you know, the anniversary campaigns, I would have one for team, one for customers, 100%.
Awesome.
So this is all you have to do is export before the 31st. I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself so much. I don't want anyone to be left like in September without having this be done. I mean, I hope there will be help available after that, but they're making it pretty clear that your deadline is August 31st. And then after that, like I said, we have all the time in the world to get this into Project Broadcast. I'm just going to show you how easy it is, so you have a visual example of it. But the second page, and I guess of the third page, is going to walk you through step-by-step how to bring it into Project Broadcast. I'm going to make it a lot easier than these directions do, because this is like super advanced. Like if you want categories brought in as tags, or if you want labels brought in as tags, but if you just need name and phone number, this is going to be the easiest thing in the world that you do. Well, I can't say that. It's going to be really easy, but not the easiest thing in the world, maybe. So let me just show you a quick sample of how to do this. And I am just going to focus on, let's say, name and phone number, so you can see the easy version before getting to the advanced, all of this stuff version, where you really can match up these Project Broadcast fields to these Amy fields. This is like the super advanced version, and it's just based on how much information you want to bring in. So if I have a CSV from Amy, it's going to look actually almost exactly like this. You do not need any of these. I was recording a video for somebody else this morning. These are the columns that you're going to have from Amy. Okay, so it's going to go first name, last name, phone number, all the way to categories, labels, and notes. Some people are going to have blanks. Some people are going to have information that other people don't have, for example, in labels or notes, if you haven't taken notes on those people. But this is just, I don't want to share any confidential information, so I just popped some fake info here. All you need to do after you export this from Amy is, what should happen is it'll be saved on your desktop as a CSV, and that's just a type of file. And it's exactly the type of file that Project Broadcast needs to be able to import them to Project Broadcast. So I'm just going to go ahead, since this is not a CSV on my desktop yet, because I did not export this from Amy, I created it. I'm just going to download this as a CSV really quickly. And by the way, if you have not signed up for Project Broadcast yet, this is exactly how you do a contact import from the workstation too. So you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 deal right now, where this is how you bring people into Project Broadcast without having to manually add them one by one, which nobody has time for. So we have a super smart contact importer, which allows you to bring a spreadsheet in, basically. So you're going to come over to our More tab, which is the 3 stacked lines, and tap Import Contacts. Select the import file you want the system to bring in, and it's just going to be this one I just downloaded. And now all Project Broadcast is asking, okay, so you have all these column headers, right? Row 1 is like first name, last name, email. The system's just saying, what do I put in my fields? I'm going to guess, but just tell me what to put in there. So it's just saying, hey, I have a field called phone number. Do you want your phone number column in there? Like I said, it's super smart. It just kind of recognizes that's what probably should go there. If it's wrong, tell it it's wrong and tell it what column should go there. In this case, it's right. I actually do want my phone number in the phone number field. Email is email. Tags, I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, I actually want you to group people together by this labels column. I want people who are preferred team to be grouped together as preferred team. So can you go ahead and in tags, pull labels? And I totally lied to you, because I said, I'm just gonna do phone number and name, but now I'm like into it. So I'm just gonna do it all. And then there's first name. Is that your first name column? Yes. Last name. Is that your last name? Yes. Birthday. Is it birthday? It sure is. And that's where I'm going to end it, except for it pulled notes too, which I'm fine with. I want my notes column to be notes. So the system kind of guessed everything correctly, other than I just had to say for tags, I want you to pull labels. If I had named that column tags, it would have recognized that and pulled it in. And then all I'm going to do actually too, because this is our training account, I'm going to add an additional tag that is going to apply it to everybody on this sheet so I can clean out the account after I'm done with this training. So I'm just going to say this is import. When is the date today? 08/09/22. Okay. And then save initiates the import. And so it's letting me know there were a couple of errors. These two guys had the same phone number, so it won't bring them in for me. It says you have to let me know who gets this phone number. They can't share, but everybody else was added. So I can go in now and I'm just going to copy and paste a name into my contacts and see what information was brought over. And it should be everything that was on that document, right? So I have first name, last name, phone number, his birthday, and then it brought in some custom fields that I didn't go all the way down to check, but it says like it has his city, his state, the import tag I gave it. And now I have all of those people that were successfully brought in, have all of the information that was on this sheet that I asked it to bring in, all in one step. I don't have to manually put them in. I can start sending messages right away to this group of people. And I'm going to pull somebody that had a tag too. So you can, or actually I'm just going to pull the tag. So I had a preferred team tag that I wanted the system to add to those three people. One of them was one of my errors. It looks like it was a duplicate number, but it lets me know who my other two preferred team were. So just because I started in the More tab, import contacts, it brought in all of those people at the same time with all of their information. This is a sample sheet. It's super tiny. The one I was recording earlier today was like in the 10,000s. So the system's not limited. I didn't want to show you a full example. So this is just 10 people and this is how it would look. If you are wanting to also bring in any invoice information from Amy, this is what that sheet looks like. And again, I just deleted any confidential information. But your columns that you're probably going to want to pay attention to for invoices are name, maybe email, definitely phone number. And then the video I did earlier today, the person wanted items detail brought in because she wanted to track their order history in the notes section. Totally personal preference. You might even completely skip this invoices export. You may just want to be able to refer to it in the future. You might not want this in Project Broadcast at all, but it is an option. So I'm just going to show you what to do really quickly for this. So again, I need to download this as a CSV because I haven't yet. And just going to go through the same steps again. So it's more, import contacts, select your import file, and then it's my invoices. And it's just asking me again, phone number is that customer phone number. I just want to do phone number, email. I'm going to do the same tag so I can delete this when we're done. Here's a fun trick. So you probably didn't notice this, and I wouldn't have either, but on this file, the first name and last name are in the same column. The system is actually smart enough to separate those, which most people do not know until they have to do it. So yeah, go for it. Is this blowing your mind?
It is, because I have the issue when I have been uploading my my team to Constant Contact, it puts their first and last name in their first line and then their last name. So it's been like, hi, Michelle Cohen, even though I only added the first name to the dynamic. So
I don't know if Constant Contact does the same thing. I'm going to assume.
Oh, did I say Constant Contact?
Yeah,
I meant Project Broadcast. I'm sorry. You're like,
okay, you're totally fine, because I was ready to talk Constant Contact too. I just started learning it, so I'm like ready to talk.
Oh, you're so cute. No, yes. I meant Project Broadcast.
That's the problem with using too many tools, right?
Right.
We're just like getting them jumbled. So yes, the system is smart enough, and nobody takes the time to read this paragraph, but that's exactly what this paragraph says. It says, if your first and last name are in the same column, select the header title for both first name, last name, which in our case is customer name, for both first and last name. And I do not understand the magic behind it because I'm not one of the developers, but it'll separate them out into first name, last name. And it's even so smart that if last name is first with a column and then first name, it flip-flops them. I don't know. It's amazing. So this has saved so much time and energy. Back in the day when I got started in Project Broadcast, I didn't read that paragraph. I just was clicking buttons. And so I was doing cleanup in Excel before importing to separate out the column. You don't need to do that. The system will do it for you. So first name is customer name, last name is customer name. And the big one for this is I want my notes section to be the item's detail. And that's their order history, right? And all I'm doing again is save, because I told the system what I wanted. Again, it's skipping those duplicates. It's like you really need to get the correct names for these, or these correct numbers for these people. And I'm just going to see, I'm going to pull somebody who actually had an order history. And I just had some examples in here. Oh, everybody does. Okay, so let me hop back over to Project Broadcast and just pull somebody and see. We'll show you what it looks like. Zoom controls are giving me a headache. Okay, so it shows you in the notes what her order history was. So she spent this much on this item. And again, I think birthday was from the first, yeah, because we didn't pull in birthday on that last one. So you can do both. But I think if you have Amy, you probably are going to at least bring in your contact file. Maybe you don't need the invoice file. I don't think everybody will, but just wanted to show you it is a possibility to bring that order history in as well. This is a little bit more intermediate advanced, but I do just want to draw your attention to it. The cheat sheet walks you through how to clean this up. But if you want to bring categories in as tags, which I assume you will, because it has some really good information in here, like levels, team member, previous team member, the system won't do it because the quotations are messing it up. So if you know anything about Excel or Sheets, it's pretty easy to clean this up. And again, the cheat sheet shows you how, but all you need to do is select the column and you're just going to edit some information in there. So I'm just running through this because it's on the cheat sheet, but find and replace quotes and replace it with nothing. Replace all. That deleted all the quotations. And then I know Michelle's like, say what? Yes, I know. And then the other thing, you didn't know this was going to be a Sheets and a constant contact training, did you? No, I'm just kidding. And the other thing it cannot stand is the space between the comma and the next word. So for our tags, we have to have a comma, no space for it to recognize more than one tag. So all I'm going to tell this to do is also find and replace any spaces with nothing. Replace all, and now they're squished together and the system will be able to pull those in. So that's your Google Sheets training for the evening. But that must be done beforehand or the system will it doesn't crash or anything, but it'll be angry. So if you want to bring those in as tags, just do some cleanup. It's on the cheat sheet. And I'm here as a resource too. If you're like, I know you said something about quotations and spaces. I'm a little lost. I will walk you through that just because of the people you know. So you have extra access to me. That's really all there is to Amy. I'm just going to repeat it for the 500th time. By August 31st, please at least export your data. And then, well, you probably need to know how to get into contact with me. So Jess, you have my information, but I'm going to pop it in the chat too. So if you use Project Broadcast, I'm a built-in contact in your contacts list, and we're just listed as Project Broadcast Success. It's myself and two of my colleagues, Joanna and Austin, and we monitor that chat pretty much all business day. We're pretty responsive there. So you can, even if you're not a Project Broadcast user, you can text me. I'm just popping in a chat right now at 254-545-9626. And if you need to set up a call, we can do that. If you need a screen share, you can do that. There are a couple of layers of support that we offer. This is the top layer, like a team live hangout. Goes to very special people. We can't do this for all 30,000 users. So this is like, yes, this is like upper level training. But when you send me a chat, no matter who you are, if I can explain it super quickly, if it's like a 1-step, 2-step process, I'll text you back. If it's a little more complicated or requires a visual, I will screen share and send you a link to that screen share. And if it requires like a 15-minute, let's hop on a call really quickly, there's no way I can possibly explain this to you without talking to you, that's available to everybody too. So please don't hesitate to reach out. The reason I have a job is because people ask me questions. So keep them coming. You really can't bug me. Well, I'm sure somebody like eventually could get to that level, but nobody's hit it yet. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I think we should do questions because we have time, and I know this has been a lot. Hey, Jess, do you use Constant Contact though for email?
I do. And one of my questions was, because there is an email section, but I remember one of our trainings we did in the past with the gentleman, I forgot his name. He said that email isn't set up yet. Is that in the future? Like, because I would love to be able to just do everything in one place.
Yes. So an announcement was made last month, but it was at the same time we announced Spaces and our free plan, so it kind of got lost. We expect to have email by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. So yeah, if you have emails, go ahead and start bringing them in. Yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening over the next few months. So now is a really good time to dive in and learn the things that you can about the current features so that you're ready to go for what's coming next. So you can just learn a little bit more rather than everything all at once. Yeah, email's a big one. Are you using landing pages yet?
I am for certain things, yes. I just need to be more consistent. They are amazing. And I can see them to be in basically yes and no, but I feel like I just need to learn more about them to be more consistent. And that's just me not diving in. That's it.
And we could even do, like, we could do one of these just on landing pages and just say, like, we want to build a landing page that does this, and I can build it live and then share it with you guys in a bundle and you'll have it. But the reason I ask, it's not to pressure you into, building landing pages, but from what I understand about what Jake said is that landing pages currently, with the expectation of email being a thing in Project Broadcast, are built to be formatted to be easily transferred, like popped into an email. So grain of salt, please, because I could misunderstand things all the time. But what I'm understanding is you build that landing page in Project Broadcast, and then it is put into an email from Project Broadcast that has interactive clickable buttons, embedded videos. So if I'm understanding correctly, that's going to be awesome. And I'm pretty sure I am understanding correctly. So I would say learn landing pages now because they're amazing, but that's really going to elevate your game once email is available.
I love that because then I don't have to do it in two different places.
We honestly, this is not official company declaration or anything, but the more and more I hear about what we have coming, the more it becomes clear that we don't want you guys to have, 20 subscriptions. The reason landing pages were released in August they noticed, this was before I joined the team, they noticed that people were paying hundreds of dollars a month for services that included landing pages, but included a bunch of other stuff that our users weren't using. And they realized we were just using landing pages, but paying $300 a month or whatever. So the guys were like, let's build landing pages in Project Broadcast, and for whatever reason not charge more. We'll just include it in the $15 a month or whatever. So it really does feel like we want to be the one place you log in. And so the things I'm hearing that are coming soon are going to make that more and more easy for everybody. I really feel like the heart is in allowing people to run a business in one place, but also making things super accessible for people who are starting out businesses. Like, you don't have to pay $300 a month to communicate with people. You can do it for $15 or more if you have like a lot more contacts or whatever, but we want to provide all of that through us.
I want to make sure everybody knows too, that a lot of questions come up about back and forth chat. Once they start talking to you in the chat, it's free. So a lot of people get nervous, like, oh, so every time I talk to somebody, I'm paying money. No, that's the cool part of it, is that you send out your blast, but then once they start talking to you and you talk back, like it's it's free. I love that. And I did have a question. It just went right out of my brain, but I'll remember it. Does anybody else have any questions? or concerns that
I was going to say too, the chat thing was not always the case. So that used to be an add-on. When I joined Project Broadcast, this is so embarrassing. This is no way to run a business. We had to pay for chat. Okay. So I would say things like, I'm going to respond to you on Messenger. Hang on. Like they would send me a response to my broadcast and I would go talk to them somewhere else that was free. Yeah, unlimited chat. I think that was maybe in the last year or year and a half. So everything that's back and forth like that is free. No, doesn't use any credits. But not everybody knows this. All project broadcast to project broadcast communication is free also. So for example, if you all here have project broadcast and Jess adds you to a campaign or has a keyword reply that goes to you, it doesn't cost her any credits because it's going to another project broadcast number. So PB to PB is always free.
Okay. So how do I get their project broadcast number?
Just ask
them.
Yep. Yeah, I would send
out because I sent out probably over 200 texts just to remind them about this. And I got a lot of response. I'm not gonna make it. Is it gonna be recorded? Blah, blah, blah. And I know that a couple that are on have project, but I didn't know that I can put them in that number.
Yeah, I would, what I would do is, I would schedule out a blast to that 200 and just say, hey, if you have a project broadcast number, PB to PB is free. Can you send me your number? And I would edit their contact information with that number. So you're saving credits 100%.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
And not everybody knows that. So I like to throw it out there. Yeah, Shauna, any back and forth conversation, you don't have to pay. So for example, if they're in your order follow-up campaign, right? And they get the, let's say 2-week delay message, that costs a credit because that was a scheduled message that is going out. It's an automated message. But the second they respond to that message and anything you send to them responding to that message, anything that basically happens in the chat, and I can show you that, anything that happens here in chat is no credits forever. So in this box, no credits are used. Even if you, and do you ever schedule chats out? I feel like this is always like a mind blower for people.
Okay. Oh, I do all the time. I love it.
So that happens in chat. So it doesn't use credits. This schedule is such a good feature. We didn't have this when I got started either. Y'all are so lucky. So this is great if you're working late at night or early in the morning and you don't want to respond, but you also don't want something on your to-do list, right? So you can schedule out a chat that goes out the next morning, any reasonable time. That's how I've always used it. But then some brilliant person told me a few weeks ago, I think maybe longer ago, she schedules out messages. So for example, if somebody says, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks, I'm going to Hawaii for 2 weeks. She schedules out a message to go out in like 2 weeks plus 3 days and just says, what was your favorite part about Hawaii? Did you eat anything good? Come on. Are you kidding? Right. And now I'm using it like for like that.
Love
every day because our users say, oh, I'm at convention right now, or I'm at conference right now, or whatever. I look up the end date of the national conference and I schedule out a chat and I say, how was it? Did you meet up with some friends? Are you kidding me? That's next level business right there. So that scheduled chat, ooh, love it.
Heck yeah. Very cool. You know what I did before you said the cool idea that somebody shared about like doing a campaign for follow-up of like 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. I use the calendar. Like I'll get in the car from delivering an order and then I will schedule a chat like the next day or two days later and just say, you know, hey, what was your favorite scent? Or, you know, can you send me a picture of your warmer setup or whatever? And so I can just, you know, get it out of my head and I don't have to, and then I don't have to worry about forgetting to connect with that person. And then that chat keeps going. And then if I have something scheduled already and they've already like said something to me, I can delete that follow-up chat because they've already connected with me. Like they might on their own say, Jess, I love this new warmer or whatever. And they've already answered what I was going to ask. So I can delete that scheduled one and then do something. So I just, everything over the years that I've been praying for Project Broadcast has.
Yeah, and we keep an eye on things like with landing pages, right? But we also do rely very heavily on user suggestions. So we want to create a tool that works for your business. So when you, if that were something you were like, oh, I really wish I could schedule out a chat, I just dropped off, I don't want this to be a brand new broadcast for one person, or I don't want it to be a campaign, we take those. So we get suggestions all the time and we add them directly onto our development wish list for our developers. So anytime you have stuff like that too, send us a message and is it possible? How much time will it take? What's the payoff? Of course, are things they consider, but we really love to hear from you all about what's going to make your business easier. And we put a lot of that into play. And I just wanted to show too, you were talking about, it'll show there's a scheduled chat that comes up. So I just wanted to schedule one really quickly for like, that's a bad time. And even like, see, like the system warns you like, hey, that's pretty late. Are you sure you want to send that? And I'll say, okay, I'm going to change it to AM. And then the system's not yelling at me anymore. And then like you were saying, now if they respond before my scheduled chat is going to go out, the system's telling you, hey, you have a scheduled chat that's supposed to go out. I would take a look at that and be like, oh, now that's going to make zero sense because she said something to me, and I can just go ahead and 3 dots and go ahead and delete that message. We already talked. My message is gone now. It's such a cool system. I'm biased, but it also like is really cool. Great question. So contacts from the phone. There is a way to import those. All the system needs is the CSV file. So you need a way to get those contacts into a CSV. Every phone is different, so I can't really give clear directions on that. But if you Google your phone's name plus the words contacts and CSV, you'll get very, very clear directions on how to get that CSV. And then all you're going to do is come over here to the More tab, import contacts, and you're good to go. So yes, absolutely, you can bring your phone contacts in. You can bring anything in as long as it's on a CSV.
I'm looking up, I just want to let everybody know that Dawn has done a couple other trainings for us, and they're uploaded to my YouTube channel. And so I will link in this recording when I email it to everybody, the other ones. So if other things that you guys were interested in, like I think I'm trying to look, I'm almost positive you've done one for landing pages.
Maybe, and if not, I actually created a landing page teaching landing pages.
That's awesome.
I know, I'm like, it's very meta. So if you want to access that, I'm just going to pop into chat how to do it. You just text LP to me and it'll send you that landing page. So if you can't watch an hour long, whatever, you can access that. Yeah, I can't remember I think it was landing pages, and I didn't know you posted it to YouTube. We were doing research on YouTube on Project Broadcast videos that people were like just posting in the wild, and we were on a call, an internal call, and somebody was like, that's Dawn. Dawn's in that video. And I was like, what? And it was yours, of course. So yes.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, they're so useful. And you did 2. I'm almost positive.
Oh my goodness. I only
remember. No, because you're so busy. You're like, you were just on one right before us. So I there's no way for you to remember. But yeah, I'll make sure I get those links. So, and then whatever, if I get requests of like certain areas, but I will just say that there is a lot of training in the training videos option. If you want to put your cursor over that for us.
Yes, I'm just typing something really quick in the chat. So the training videos are so old, you guys, they're actually kind of embarrassing at this point. Oh. So we're recreating everything I just popped it in training.projectbroadcast.com, but in your account, we do have training videos. And actually, these are a good place to start. The only barrier would be terminology. So if you know you want to post on social media for people to text VIP to you at your number, if you don't know what that's called, it's kind of hard to find a training video on it. And that's what we're here for. But yeah, if you go through these videos, they're like, what, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you'll be a Project Broadcast guru at the end of these. So yeah, right in your account, More tab, training videos. Training.projectbroadcast.com has more like step-by-step screenshots and text training kind of to walk you through the steps of things. If you like videos, they're here. We also have a lot of strategy training at training.projectbroadcast.com. Like if you have a farmer's market or a vendor event coming up, it walks you through exactly what to do for an in-person event, things like that.
Nice. I love
But like
that.
I said, you won't be left alone. Unless you tell us to leave you alone. But if you need us, we're here for questions.
Let me see if anybody's. Oh, wait, that was just, okay. I was just looking if there were any questions on because I'm streaming this to my Facebook group page as well.
Oh, gotcha. And I would say too, what normally happens, I know this is a lot. Trust me, I know it's a lot, but we like to try to cram a lot into a little bit because we don't get to see you all the time. What usually happens is you'll be processing over the next, like 12, 24 hours. And then as questions or confusions pop up, send me a text to that number I popped in chat, 254-545-9626, and say, I remember you said this about a CSV, or I remember you said this about landing pages, and like, I'll answer tomorrow too. This is not the end of the conversation by any means.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
transferring everything that you've put in this chat to my chat on Facebook because they're saying,
Perfect.
like, can you put those on there? Yes, I can. So I'm really excited. I just feel like this kind of business is so, it's so simple as long as we have a tool. And I just feel like when I started 11 years ago, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't, any of that stuff. And so I just feel like it just keeps getting more simple and more simple and more simple. And especially with tools like this, it just doesn't matter how busy you are. Like, as long as you're utilizing the tools, you could be so successful. And it's crazy because I feel like I've been the most disconnected with my business in the last month because my husband's having medical problems and stuff. But at the same time, I've been very busy at the same, like a lot of activity in my business because I've been using Project Broadcast. Like, I have a fundraiser going, like I said, and I've just had a lot of communication, and I'm like I said, at the hospital, I'm all over the place, and it's not like I'm sitting at my desk working, but I'm getting so much done just because of this app. It's just amazing.
And if I just like, as a last comment, if you do, you've seen me jumping around in screens here, this more tab has, another 40 things in it that you can do. You do not need to learn everything up front. You're going to have something that your business needs right now. And that might be order follow-up. It might be lead generation. It might be team onboarding. I don't know what it is for your business. You're just going to do that thing first. Get that rolling. Let that get automated. So you're freeing up some time and energy, and then tackle the next thing. You do not have to know everything, one tiny thing at a time. And you'll be you'll know everything there is to know about Project Broadcast in 3 months, 6 months, the next year. Well, not everything, right?
You know what? I just want to throw a plug in. A lot of new consultants kind of get worried about having their personal phone number on the website. I love the fact that I have my Project Broadcast phone number on my website now. So when random people that you don't know who the heck they are, text you or whatever, like, you don't feel like they're like violating your if there's some weirdo or something. It's totally tracked, and they don't have your personal phone number. And then, I don't know. I love that and it's keeping everything in one spot, that it has to do with your business. And
Yep.
So you don't have to be scrolling through all your personal texts to kind of figure out where did that customer go or whatever. I love it. I love it so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Keep it all separate. And like I just was saying on the last call, I can turn my notifications off for Project Broadcast when I'm done with business for the day. My text messages can still come through. I can still hear from my mom, right? But my Project Broadcast notifications are off. So yeah, having a separate business line is pretty key, I think, for your mental health and for your boundaries. So I love it too.
There was years in the beginning of my business that I had 2 separate cell phones because I didn't know how to turn it off. And so I had to literally turn off the phone for my business. And yeah, it would drive, like my husband's like, you have to shut your business off. I was like, yeah, but what if they're, and it was just the only way. And now it's like, I mean, I've learned to be, I don't have that issue anymore, believe me, but I love that I can have one phone. I don't have to pay for 2 different cell phones for 2 different business, a business line and a personal line.
Absolutely.
All right. Any last questions for Dawn? So we can let
I'm just
her
glad
go.
this is recorded. It's a lot.
It's
too.
a lot.
I was like, I'm done taking notes. I'm just going to rewatch this 20 times. No, it's a lot of really good, useful information. Even you're clicking around. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, because I have it on my desktop, which I love that I can have it on my phone and have it on my desktop because I have 2 screens. So I can kind of be going back and forth and really just kind of sit and dive in. And it's better to look at it that way for me on a desktop because everything's just bigger. So I like that you're clicking around because I'm like, oh, okay, note to self, just, I'm not going to hurt anything by clicking around. So
Nope, no
but
permanent
thank you.
damage.
A lot of good information.
Yes, thank you. But a lot.
A lot. It's okay.
Well, to answer your question, to go back from Dawn's first question to all of us is, if you're brand new to Project Broadcast, I think the easiest way to start is to put your contacts, export your contacts from your workstation, upload it into Project Broadcast, and then when you download the Excel spreadsheet from the workstation, add a tab that says, or a column, sorry, that says tag or whatever you want it to be. Like I said, you know, Disney or black raspberry vanilla, because they love, you know, these people love black, whatever you want to do to kind of categorize them or tag them, and put them in and just start there. So you have your contacts, or even just put them all in there and then go, if you have 10 customers right now, that's actually great because you can start small, you know, and just start messing with them, or even try to do some experiment texts with your friends, you know, close friends, to say, hey, I'm trying to figure this out. Can I send some text to you or schedule some, you know, broadcasts to you or campaigns or whatever, and or to yourself on your regular phone number, and just see how it works. So you can have a visual and feel more confident with, you know, sending them out to your customers.
It's funny that you say that because I send them to my daughter.
Oh, perfect.
I send them to myself and my daughter.
I do that too.
Because
yes.
I'm like, did you get it? Because I didn't get it. And then what I realized is that when I saved a template, I wasn't all the way saving. Like once I scheduled it. So
Okay.
I had to make sure, because there were a few times they didn't go through. And every time I make a tweak or a change or whatever, just to make sure that I saved it and I see it, and I kind of went back. So it taught me some stuff. So I was like, we're not getting it. Okay, what did I do? So
Some troubleshooting, right?
yeah, but she knows every time I send her random things, she knows.
It's just a test.
Yeah.
There's a really good question in chat too. So is it an app? Is it desktop? And it's both. So you can use either. The app does almost everything the desktop does, except for desktop. You have to design landing pages on the desktop. And then like payment information needs to be done on the desktop. But yeah, you can access it from projectbroadcast.com on your desktop, or you can access the app. It's available both in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, and they do sync. So if I do something, I respond to a chat on my phone, it happens here too. I'll see it go through on the desktop. And like Michelle said, I kind of have both going at the same time for different reasons. When I first started, maybe my first 2 years with Project Broadcast, I never went on the desktop. I did everything for my business on my phone. These days, it's desktop for the most part with my phone as a backup. But yeah, they're interchangeable. So whatever works for you, you can use either one.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, if they come up, just send them our way, and I'm sure we will get them answered, because you know, and don't feel bashful if it, like Shauna says that she, what did you just say that I said, that I was like, oh, sorry, it's a dumb question. That was totally not a dumb question. That was a good question. So don't hesitate, you know, like when we're in elementary school, no question is a bad question. So if you're thinking it, we're thinking it, or we've thought it before. And so there's probably an answer. And if not, like Dawn said, if nobody's asked it before or nobody's requested before, they're on it. They want to figure it out for us. So, all right, Dawn, you are amazing. We love you. We appreciate your time and all your expertise. And we're so grateful that you took the time to come on here and that we have access to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm happy to do it again. So if you guys have a topic, I'm actually very interested to talk to you about fundraisers. So I may be reaching out to you in the next couple
please
of days.
do.
Okay.
I'm actually doing a training for Scentsy on the 23rd about fundraisers, and I'm going to be like totally sharing about how I'm using Project Broadcast. So.
Wait, like a virtual training?
Yeah.
Can I come to that?
Yeah, I think I could send you the link.
If not, it's fine.
We have to register on our workstation, but
okay.
I can reach out to the training center because they know that we all work with you. So I could say, is there a link that I can send to you? I'm pretty sure it's a link that, as long as you have the password. So once I get the information when they send it to me, I'll send it to you. But I'll email training tomorrow and just say, hey, you know, can Dawn get on here?
I don't want to cause problems, but I want to learn.
Yeah, you're welcome to reach out to me too.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. All right. Everybody have a great day. Love you. And we'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, don't forget about next Monday. Our regular Monday call is going to be about earning your incentive trip for the fall. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much. Bye.